Hi, this is Maureen Klewicki, Program Director for the Cedars-Sinai Accelerator, powered by Techstars, and I am joined today by Ben, the co-founder of Tasso. Ben is a recent alumni of the Accelerator program, and we're here today to talk a bit about his experience and the company Tasso. So Ben, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Maureen.
So I'd like to kind of kick things off by having you introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your background.
For sure. So as you mentioned, I'm one of the co-founders of Tasso. And Tasso is a medical device company working on the Hemolink. And we've been at this for about 4 years now. By training, I'm a biomedical engineer. I got my PhD right about the same time that we were starting this company. And since then have been involved with everything that the startup's thrown at me. So just got finished with this awesome experience at Techstars.
Great. And so you mentioned what Tasso does, but I'd love to dig in. So if you could share, a bit about the company, what you're all doing, how many folks are on the team, and sort of the stage of the company, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So Tasso is a medical device company. We're making this device called the Hemolink, which is a virtually painless blood collection device. The premise of the device is that you just stick it on your arm and you can press the big red button to start the blood collection. And then 2 minutes later, just take it off, send that tube back in. And the premise is to replace that awful process that currently exists for the blood draw, where you have to go into the match. Nobody likes the needle.
The needle is terrible. I would agree with
that. And really the company. As far as stage, we've raised $8.4 million to date in non-dilutive funding. So that's been mainly from DARPA. And now we have a new opportunity with DTRA, the Defense Threat Reduction Agency. So that's been great, working on grants, non-dilutive funding, everything like that. But we're starting to approach market. You asked also how many people we have on our team.
Yeah.
We're a 10-person team in total. We have a wide range of people, ranging from engineers to biologists, and we have a few industrial designers that have helped us think about this and how consumers are going to interact with it so that we can make a comprehensive experience.
Great. Thank you. That background is super helpful. Now, I'd love to turn a bit to the program itself and ask, why did you decide to participate in the program? And was there one thing that sort of made you say, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this?
Yeah, so we had actually already been working with Cedars-Sinai before, and they were an awesome organization. And when we found out about this program in conjunction with Cedars, we were already really excited about it. Just having that opportunity to have that deep dive and deep look into Cedars-Sinai was really exciting for us and very compelling. And also when we got to visit, right off the bat, just getting taken meeting to meeting, just meeting everyone from top to bottom in the hospital, even just for the interview weekend, was just a completely immersive experience that we knew that we would be getting a lot of value out of it. So I'd say that definitely pulled us in.
Great.
But and the Techstar side of it as well. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, please, you go.
Maureen?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
You go ahead.
Yeah, so I was going to say the Cedars-Sinai portion of the accelerator was really exciting for us, and having the opportunity to meet everybody and think a lot about our go-to-market strategy as far as hospitals were concerned was definitely a big pulling point.
Great.
But once we were in program, the Techstars side of it too was just phenomenal. I mean, not enough can be said about the extent of the network and really what that means as far as just getting warm intros to just about anybody that you would want. So the combination of the two is just has been fantastic.
Great. So that really sort of leads me into my next question, which is about your experience sort of once you were in the program. And specifically, I'm wondering what it was like to work with the mentors from Cedars-Sinai, and also you touched on it, but engaging with sort of the mentors and network from the Techstars side of the table.
Yeah, so on both sides of it, I mean, once we got in program, starting off with Mentor Madness, both on the Cedars-Sinai side and on the Techstars side, having access to the clinicians and everyone top to bottom in the organization. I mean, talking to clinicians, talking to nurses, talking to the supply chain manager, talking to, everyone in the organization, just lending their time and really helping take a deep dive into into our specific area. I mean, that was just an immersive experience that really led us to the right path very quickly. And as well on the Techstars side, I mean, people that were helping us look at our business model, take a step back and just say, okay, let's think about this more holistically. What is the right answer? What, from a business perspective, what is the right direction? And asking the really tough questions. So the combining of those two was just amazing, and a lot to handle at times, but really helped us get to the right answer quickly.
Yeah. Awesome. Great to hear that perspective. So I want to dig in. You talked a little bit about the grant funding that you guys have not raised, I guess, received before entering the program. And if you look at that, it's about $8 million is what you said. And so what was it like to come into the program at that stage? Some companies that come in are earlier, they're more your typical seed stage. So I'd love to hear your perspective as sort of the later stage of early stage.
Yeah. So as far as that's concerned, by money raised, it definitely we're a bit bigger of a company than a lot of companies that were in Techstars. But that being said, it's an accelerator, and they said it early on, which is that the accelerator applies no matter what stage. Taking a step back and looking at your business and truly looking at it as opposed to just executing on the day-to-day is tremendously helpful no matter what stage you're in. Yeah. Because it really helps you find the right things for your business. And I don't think we were actually not even the biggest company that was part of our cohort. I would tip my hat to Alumni on that one. Yep. But and I talked a lot with those guys too. And the reality is we're all coming in with things that can be improved in our business. And with that in mind, and working with Techstars and Cedars-Sinai, thinking about how we can take what was a grant, right? What was an idea, something that was really exciting. How can we now apply that in a commercial setting? Yeah. And so in that sense, the accelerator was absolutely clutch.
And so can you talk a little bit about your stage in terms of the product when you came into program?
Yeah, so as far as the products, we were already in our clinical trial. Actually, Cedars-Sinai was one of the sites of our clinical trial for the FDA. So we'd already been a little bit in the process back and forth. And we were pursuing our first FDA clearance, which would allow the device to reach commercial use, but it wasn't completed yet. And as well, we didn't know exactly where it would be fitting in as far as the value proposition. So we did have a product, and especially in hardware, I think that's very essential because unlike other companies in the cohort, we couldn't write as our OKR, which was the objective and key result. We couldn't say, oh, we'll make a new product this week. Yeah. We as a device, it takes a while for these things to roll out, and there's a little bit more deliberation. So having something that was a little bit closer to product was good. But that being said, we got a lot of feedback as well on how to design the product, the right way to position it for the customer, and how to think about the product in the context of a hospital too. So all of these things were really helpful, given our stage, and given the fact that we are somewhat close to market.
Great. And so can you talk just for a minute about maybe some of the challenges of the programs and highlights?
Yeah, challenge of the programs. I would definitely say if there was some way I could create a robot to just send and respond to emails, that would have been great. It's just an avalanche of, it's 8 hours of meetings, and they're very exciting meetings, and you're getting pulled in all these different directions, and following up and trying to keep on top of yourself. I mean, it's an intense process. So as far as that, I think that was something that was very consistent with everyone that was in the program. But I would say, some of the exciting things, I mean, sometimes when things just click, when you've met with a few people and all of a sudden you're starting to formulate this plan and this idea that just makes sense and checks all the boxes, having that sort of epiphany moment, when that happens, it's just sort of, it's like the clearing of the forest. It just feels like you really stumbled upon the right thing. So getting to that point with this accelerator multiple times too, in very different settings of the business, was really cool.
That's fantastic. I also need that robot. So I guess I'll kind of round us out just by asking if you would recommend the program to a company that was similar to yours, if they were considering it. And if you would, what advice would you give them prior to their participation?
Yeah, I'd say really the accelerator has been fantastic for any stage of business. So don't let stage limit whether or not you would apply. I would say the Techstars side of it too. Don't underestimate. It sounds like oh, the network, what can that do? Especially us as coming into it, but it can't be underestimated. So I'd say as far as company like ours, if you guys are in medical devices. Being close to market is good. Cedars definitely helped us with product market fit. Whether the use is in the hospital or even outside of it. So we found out as part of this program that our first uses were probably going to be outside of the hospital. Even that is essential information that helped us answer these questions. So as far as that's concerned, that's where the accelerator was clutch for us. But come in thinking about the business and trying to see, if you took a 900-foot view of your company, would that be helpful? Would it be helpful to think a little bit more strategically about it and position it in the right way?
Yeah.
That's really what the accelerator, I think, can give to companies.
Awesome. Well, Ben, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. I appreciate it.
Cool. Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Maureen.
Okay. Take care.